I did it to you again, didn't
I assume you were doing that intentionally.
I? How's it going, John?
Oh, it's going. It's going. It's going. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's better than the alternative.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and on the not so awesome note, I was supposed to be at the symphony this evening,
oh,
watching lovely wife sing, but she has had a cough and a cold and just has been miserable now for a couple weeks. She had to very apologetically tell the choir that she wasn't going to be able to make it to sing with the symphony tonight, and she was very sad.
I obviously I don't know what she has, but my wife was saying that at the school she works at, two of their early childhood grades were canceled because they had so many kids out and the teachers. And I had heard somewhere else that, forget what school it was, but at school around like had nearly 30% of the students out.
Wow.
And there was, I think, the governor declared a not national, I guess it's statewide RSV emergency for the respiratory virus that's hitting kids.
Because we're no longer all wearing masks and stopping viruses from transmitting. So we're back to normal.
You know, the flu numbers when we were all masking were pretty attractive. So
almost non-existent. Yeah.
Yeah. So
anyways, on that note.
Well, I hope that she feels better. That's that note. I hope that she feels better.
On a lighter note, the holidays are upon us, and my boy and I put up the Christmas lights around the house and got we got the house all Christmasified.
All right. Do you put lights around the garage and on the roof and all that stuff?
I do not Clark W. Griswold my house. No.
Okay.
I put lights around the garage, and I put lights around the porch, and on one tree I kind of spiral one tree in the front yard, and that's it.
Okay.
So,
and are your lights uniformly distributed and symmetrical?
No.
Okay.
They're
hung.
They're hung, and they're intentionally chaotic.
Okay.
So it's not like it's that line between did they try to make them all perfectly straight and failed, and they're just they're kind of like hung like icicles, or they're kind of bunched up. Like we run multiple lines over each other, so they kind of go everywhere. So it kind of looks like a fuzz of lights instead of like a line of lights.
Okay.
So,
I was dropping one of my boys off at a friend's house, and they clearly had spent a significant amount of time putting Christmas lights up. And I'm looking at the gutter, and every single light appears to be. I mean, it was daylight, so I didn't see it at night. But every single light appeared to be perfectly spaced, even like where there was your two strands are joining, and like every light had an adapter hooked onto the gutter, I guess, so that they all were out at the straight angle, and I was just like, I think that my inner OCD would really appreciate this. But also, this is why I don't put lights up on my house. So
yeah, we discovered the intentional chaotic look a number of years ago. So the fuzzy line of lights look a while ago. So yeah, it looks like we did intentionally not try to line them up nice.
Okay, are they all like the same color? Or are they like different colors?
So most of them are white. I like the bright white, kind of white lights. And then this year, my boy, every year we buy a couple new strands of lights because invariably one or two strands dies.
Sure.
So he wanted color lights. So we have the multicolor lights, all the little tiny LED ones. We have two strands of the new multicolor, and those went on spiraled around the tree. Everything else is white, though.
Cool.
Like the bright white.
Well, happy holidays. There's a lot to be said about going out and looking at the lights, and it's fun.
Yep.
So Gotta go drive by that place on River Road that has like the crazy, crazy, crazy light show.
There's several of them around here
they,
too.
They have completely Griswolded it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. This week has a whole lot of music for my family.
Nice.
You know, I mentioned that we were at the symphony on Saturday. That was really awesome. Although yet again, they had a piece that was a modern piece that won a okay. I swear to gosh, it was a Pulitzer. It won a Pulitzer in celebration of like Susan B. Anthony or something like that. And I'm like, I didn't know you could win a Pulitzer. So, or maybe I'm wrong. I now I'm gonna have to look that up. But I'll look it up when you're talking at some point in time here, and I'll correct myself by the end.
It won an award.
It won an award, and afterwards, my wife and I were just like, "Why is it that we hate all modern music, like modern like orchestral music? I don't understand because we're like, so." You know, you get a couple minutes in, you're looking at your watch going like, all right, this is a 15-minute piece. I'm 2 minutes in. But there was a Rachmaninoff piano concerto was kind of the headline. And that was amazing. Amazing. So, you know, it takes what you can get. But then my kids are both going to be in pit orchestra for the high school play, which is...
I think my wife just got tickets for the winter concert today.
Oh,
she's gonna get. Yeah. We're totally going to the spring play, the high school play. They're so much fun.
Oh yeah, you have to. Well, so yeah, the winter concert is next week. I think we have tickets for Tuesday the 13th.
Yes.
But no. So that means that they're doing 2 hours of practice after school on Mondays and Wednesdays for that, and so. You know, they had their Saturday Metropolitan Youth Symphony practice. They then have band, 3 days a week, basically for an hour and a half. Then they have 2 hours a week 2 hours a day on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then, like today was particularly bad or good for my older son. An hour and a half of band during the class because it was an odd day. I think he has it on odd days. And then after school was an hour of sectionals for, get together with the other kids that play bass and work specifically on some of their pieces. And then 2 hours after that of pit practice, they came home hungry and tired. And we're like, my wife's like, but you really have to have those 3 pieces down by next Saturday. So, you're in basically 3 different performances in different areas. So
right.
Anyway, it's fun. It's fun around here. We enjoy it.
Your day you feel successful when you come home hungry and tired and having done something you really enjoy for a large portion of the day.
They're happy when they come home after that. So it's good. Or at least so far. But I mean, so the play is going to be the Addams Family, which I think I mentioned that maybe a couple weeks ago or something. But it really is hilarious.
Yeah,
It'll
be fun.
We listened to it driving when we went down to that college visit a couple weeks ago with Nathan Lane. It was good. Anyway, all right. Anything else in the intro, or is it time for topics?
I'm going to go with time for topics.
All right, hit me up.
So the one that I saw, I guess there were several, but this one was, Android phones, right? And most operating systems today have some way to sign applications so that they have been checked for some amount of, goodness. Is that the right word for it? Before the operating system will allow them to run. And Android is no different. Android that has certificates that OEMs, original equipment manufacturers who make the phones, sign their files so that when they launch, the operating system trusts them that they are good and have not been tampered with, and they have some amount of I'm missing the word tonight. I must be tired. Some amount of goodness, right? They validate that they have not been compromised. They're approved apps that should be able to run. Well, recently, these certificates, these keys that sign those applications were discovered to have been compromised. So malicious Android apps were signed with the same keys that the stuff that runs the system were signed with. So the system by default will trust that it is a quote unquote good app because it was signed with the same keys that should be very
lock and
well
key.
Protected. So anyway, so these got out. They discovered some malware, some bad apps had snuck into the Google Play Store and were being distributed and run on people's Android phones, and they were all being inherently trusted, right? So while this is actually quite bad, the Android device manufacturers were able to roll out fixes, rotate their keys, so basically invalidate the old keys, put new keys, stop these bad apps from doing things that they shouldn't be doing to the Android thing. And all of this happened and was able to send the new keys and everything on over-the-air update, so users didn't have to plug in anything. They just had to update their operating system.
How were there multiple manufacturers?
So that's what I think is interesting. I didn't actually see how the multiples and the suspected companies that had their certificates compromised, of course, did not respond to requests for information from the authors of the article. This is a Wired news story that I saw, but they, I guess, behind the scenes they were attributed to Samsung and LG, among others, apparently. So that's what I can't figure out is, was there a flaw somewhere else? Because I would think that Samsung or any company's signing keys were probably not in the same location as any other company's keys, right? You would expect those to be in some secure room at Samsung or some secure room at LG or some secure room at name the competitor. So I don't know how that's the part of the story that kind of doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, exactly. So did it come from where they get their certificates? I don't know. Was the place that distributed those certificates to them originally, was that location compromised? I don't know how this worked. I don't know if there'll be more information, but that was something to keep an eye on. So there you go.
Math doesn't work. Help me. All right. Thanks. Wow. Yeah. I want more info. So follow up from before, it was Pulitzer Prize winning commission by a famous composer. So, okay. I didn't quite remember that, but there you go. Okay. My first article.
It's a good segue.
Is not a Pulitzer Prize winning article, probably. Sorry.
Not a Pulitzer Prize winning software company.
Well, for sure. So this is actually the LastPass breach.
There was just one not too long ago.
Well, funny you say that. Yes. So
we talked about it not too long ago.
I think we did. For sure, I read about it. But so you're jumping ahead a little bit, but the suspicion is that...
Oh, sorry.
Well, it's okay. I didn't pull that much stuff out of here. But the suspicion is that there were credentials that were compromised in September, I think it was, or August, that perhaps didn't actually have the credentials revoked. So...
Oh,
the suspicion is that this breach was caused from creds stolen a couple months ago. But
So
this,
if they didn't actually address the breach from August, is this just a continuation of the breach, not really a second breach?
well, as my son would say, potato, tomato. The this is evidently worse in the sense that this time it sounds like the quote is an unauthorized party recently gained access to some customer information stored in a third-party cloud service shared by LastPass and its parent company GoTo. So there was not a, they didn't specifically say, but there is a 2020 blog post by the company that said, it says it's the third-party service wasn't named, but a 2020 blog post by Amazon Web Services cited the company's transition of 1 billion customer records to Amazon's cloud. So, my not particularly informed guess is, there were some AWS creds that were released, and somebody got access to a bucket that probably should have had maybe a stricter policy on it. Is what I'm gonna go out on a relatively thick limb and say. But the coup de grace of this is that in their excess of transparency, writing a blog post and saying that, I
sense sarcasm.
We were done that. Your sarcasm meter is working. They did write a blog post. The blog post didn't say anything, but in addition to writing the blog post, they also added a couple lines to their robots.txt file that says, Google, please don't index our blog post. Which I find just hilarious, I guess. So,
okay.
So there you go. I thought that was particularly funny. So that's the first one. I don't know.
Okay.
2 strikes.
LastPass.
2 strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. My second article is a much, much longer one. I don't know that we'll talk all about that, but this is a CrowdStrike blog about an actor targeting the business process outsourcing and telecommunications verticals, in particular. So they call the adversary Scattered Spider.
I like the name.
Yeah, not too bad.
Logos for a while.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. I do not remember a logo, so no.
Lost opportunity, Scattered Spider.
Right?
It just says, that screams, I need a logo.
Yeah, scattered. That's a hard adjective to put visually, but I don't know. Okay. I artist I am not. So I don't know. I liked this. I like this article. So what to say about this? So a couple things. The first thing is that they don't obviously name names in here, but this is an aggregation of commonalities among 5 different companies that clearly asked for or were, customers of CrowdStrike. Because they, it started in June of 22. Is their intrusion 1. They had a second one in September of 22, third in October, and then 2 of them in November. So, they're clearly gathering a number of different indicators of compromise, and they talked at least a little bit in here about they tie them together because of the overlapping indicators of compromise and techniques. Let's see, what else do they say about this? So the end objective of this campaign, this is a quote, appears to be to gain access to mobile carrier networks and, as evidenced in 2 investigations, perform SIM swapping activity.
Going after cryptocurrencies, I see.
Could be. Although why these days? I heard that it is like the mining companies have crashed so far. Things like Riot and Mara. I don't know what. I know that stock ticker's Mara. I forget the company of Marathon. I don't know. Like you're better off. Like it's cheaper to buy Riot, the stock of Riot, than it is to buy the Bitcoin that they mine and hold. Interesting, huh? So anyway, whatever.
You're easily sidetracked.
I am easily sidetracked. Sorry. Okay, back to this. Cryptocurrency. You got me with the cryptocurrency thing there. Let's see. It says initial access is varied. So they have a diagram here that has like what the access was done on each of these. So the first one was phone calls impersonating IT. The second was Azure using stolen credentials. The third was a vulnerability to, it says ForgeRock open. Can't actually read this. It's so small, the fonts. Open AM application server. Fourth, Telegram message impersonating IT.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, exactly. What? And then the fifth are phone calls impersonating IT to get somebody to install a commercial monitoring and management software.
Right.
Yeah. And then, so let's see what else. It says these campaigns are extremely persistent and brazen. Once the adversary is contained or operations are disrupted, they immediately move to target other organizations within the telecom and BPO sectors. So that was a comment farther in the article. They elaborated a little bit that they said,
right
after they had helped one customer, successfully contain them, they immediately saw them pick up on another one. There was, clearly active adversary on the other side of this. Although the implication was that CrowdStrike were able to, just call up, I don't know who called who, but, go to the next victim and be like, all right, we've already, we know what's going on here. We just helped your competitor. We can help you too. Let's see. The last thing I was going to say about this was that one of the things that was the most common thing in here was that they would install, remote management software, but they were not, they weren't picky about which one it was, evidently. And there was a comment that said that if, as soon as the admins tried to ban one thing or kind of stomp down on one thing, they, would immediately pop up with something else. And instances of re-enabling credentials after they'd been disabled, if you don't do a good job of kind of really getting a good isolation strategy done.
Right.
And the list of tools that they used was huge, including a bunch of things that I actually hadn't heard of before. So how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 13. They used 20 different types of tools. Well, it says in almost all investigations, the adversary used a wide variety of RMM tools to maintain persistent access, such as the list below.
Yeah.
That's not a very strong such as. But anyway, there's a list of 20 of them. Some of which I've never even heard of. I've obviously heard of TeamViewer and AnyDesk and LogMeIn and stuff like that. But there's a bunch I don't know here. Anyway, and part of that rationale is that, most enterprises, particularly smaller enterprises, don't block remote management software as malicious because they tend not. I mean, they're not, but they really are in enterprise settings likely unwanted software. Other than if
the one that you use, the one that you're paying for is the one you should have.
The one that you're
rest
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. There shall be only one. But so there you go. So they've got a bunch of other stuff. They've got, obviously at the end of it, they have a bunch of indicators of compromise. They have a bunch of data about some of the general tactics and techniques. I guess I'm a little surprised at the length of the IP addresses used here.
There's like 40 of them.
Yeah, there's a ton. So anyway, good stuff. That was my fun article for the week.
Okay.
There you go.
Scattered spider. All right.
Scattered spider. All right. How about something fun? Like actually fun.
All right. So
not
my something fun that's actually fun is a website, and it's
you have done stuff from Neil.fun before.
Yes,
Of course, it's fun. It's right there in the name.
Absurd trolley problems that I think that was one of my something funs a little while ago. Well, this one is an asteroid launcher. And basically the point of this one is you pick an impact location anywhere on Earth. It uses, a maps app, Apple Maps. You pick the type of asteroid, iron, stone, carbon, a comet, gold asteroid. And then you pick the diameter of the asteroid. You pick how fast the asteroid is traveling. And then you pick the impact angle. And then you pick a point on a map. And then you say, launch my asteroid. And it will tell you how big a crater that asteroid will make, how deep it will go, how fast the asteroid was traveling when it impacted the ground, some equivalencies. It's this size impact happens every 134,000 years or whatever your thing is. How big the firewall will be, a 10-mile firewall, wide firewall. How many decibels the shock wave is, and how many people would die depending on where you had your asteroid hit.
Uh-huh.
How people, anyone with 32 miles would have ruptured eardrums. Buildings would collapse 56 miles away. Homes would collapse 75 miles away. What the peak wind speed would be as the result of it, 8,560 mile per hour peak wind speed. This is just using the defaults, And then what size magnitude earthquake it was equivalent. Anyway, so it's just this, I don't know if you want to call it fun, but it's scientifically fascinating. Pick a point anywhere. And so one of the fun things was, what if you had a very low impact angle? So kind of like skipping off the surface.
Does it actually skip?
Well, it doesn't skip. It doesn't say it skips, because it doesn't show, the asteroid hit. It just kind of shows the aftermath. But you could have a really big asteroid at like a very low impact angle, not do as much damage as a very small asteroid at a, 45 or, 60 degree angle, where the impact is more head on. So it's just kind of fun.
Interesting.
This is obviously all math under the covers. But it's basically a simulator that based on, science.
Oh! I hadn't caught that. You can scroll down and it's got like all the stuffs.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you got to keep scrolling.
Oh, that's crazy.
So it tells you, all sorts of fun things.
1,000 mile per hour wind speed.
Yeah.
Oh, and the death tolls are for each thing.
Yep.
Oh, so of course I maxed I'm not sure I maxed this one out. Oh, I maxed it out, but with a small impact angle. All right, now I'm doing everything to the max, right on Washington, D.C. What happens? Ooh, really not good things. Ooh.
Well, and then you pick the different, did you use a stone asteroid or an iron asteroid, carbon?
Oh, I don't remember seeing that. What is that? How do you, I don't get, there's a scroll.
Yeah.
Gold?
So if you max everything out and make a gold asteroid, you're going to get an 80-mile wide crater, 150-mile wide fireball, 12,000 mile per hour wind speed, 9.7 magnitude earthquake,
Oh my gosh, look at that fireball.
Yeah. And you can zoom the map in and out.
Yeah, I am. It's the entire eastern seaboard.
Exactly. 50% fatalities within your firewall there.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that Florida survives.
You just need
That's a joke.
Aim better.
No. No. I was mostly trying to figure out how do you match kind of the Yucatan Peninsula kind of thing. But wow.
Yeah. And you can do them out in the middle of the ocean, and they're less disruptive. And, it tells you how often this thing happens. One of the other, if you just go back to so Neil.fun is a website in general, there's all sorts of fun things to go there. So the latest one I saw was the Asteroid Launcher one. There's also, days since latest incident, days since the last earthquake, and it just kind of has a whole bunch. Days since a 1 kiloton asteroid impact. And then it's got the news stories. There was a 1.2 kiloton asteroid impact over the Indian Ocean in August 14th of 2022. The last volcanic eruption, magnitude 8 earthquake. Days since, days since last accident. Well, it's just a fun thing. And there's a bunch of them.
Okay,
there you go.
That's I will
That's
agree. I will agree. Like fun. Not sure if fun is the right thing, but yeah, like
educational.
It's good. It's good.
All right.
Spend Bill Gates' money.
Yeah, that's another one.
All right, my something fun is a smallish thing, but it harken back to the days so very long ago when James Webb was just coming online. Mm-hmm. But they released some new pictures I saw just a couple days ago.
Always super cool.
I think it was just a couple days ago, of the pillars of creation, which are, let's see, do I still have that tab up? Please tell me I have that tab still up. Let's see. That is a small region in the vast Eagle Nebula, 6,500 light years away. But the pillars are a very classical picture, but of course the web has more detail than ever before. And the image that they released is evidently a composite from two cameras, the near infrared and mid infrared. Right. It says, by combining images of the iconic pillars of creation from two cameras aboard NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, the universe has been framed in its infrared glory. Webb's near-infrared image was fused with its mid-infrared image, setting this star-forming region ablaze with new details. So, one of the weird things for me is that there are regions here that are bright red, which I thought might just be like an image problem, but it actually says in here, at the top edge of the second pillar, undulating detail in red, which is what we're looking at, hints at even more embedded stars. These are even younger and quite active as they form. The lava-like regions capture their periodic ejections. As stars form, they periodically send out supersonic jets that can interact with within clouds of material, like these thick pillars of gas and dust. These young stars are estimated to be only a few 100,000 years old and will continue to form for millions of years. So, anyway, I'll have to put the image as the image of this chapter, but this is gorgeous, and you can download the full res version, 7,000 by 6,600 pixels for. Did
you go look at the Hubble version of it?
Where?
So if you go to the bottom of the article, or the notes, there's the Hubble's telescope image from 1995. It's like
where?
From the link that you put in there. If you go down towards the bottom, there's right.
Oh, there we go.
Credits, and you look at what Hubble picked up. It's like going from standard def to high def.
Oh my gracious sakes! Yes,
like
you're
320 by 240. Now it's 8K resolution.
Oh wow! And I remember when that Hubble image first came, it was just like, oh my gracious sakes!
Yeah, super cool.
Okay, that is such an amazing difference.
Yeah. Technology. Who knew?
Okay, you have to go check those out. That is so awesome.
Very
okay.
Cool.
All right, there you go. My something fun.
All right, John.
All right, my friend. I will talk to you next week. Have a good one.
I will see you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.